in the studio with me now. This time of year is really wonderful. We get an opportunity to hear a lot of different music, but for me, one of the best things we can do is hear it live. With me today to talk about the Fine Arts program at Trinity Classical Academy, I have Jennifer Brown, who's here. She's the handbell director. This is one of the only handbell and chimes choirs here in the Santa Clarita Valley. Jennifer, this is very exciting. How did you come to be the handbell person? How did handbells come into your life?
Well, Trinity happened to have 2 octaves. That's about 18 bells. And when we were developing the electives for the upper school students at Trinity, we thought it'd be really neat to be able to utilize this really unique instrument. And so we talked to some of our students, and we gathered 4 originally and played on the floor and came up with a fabulous song that we were able to perform for the school. They loved it. The students love learning about music through this medium. And so we decided to expand the program, and we now have a set of 5 octaves at Trinity, and we use it to perform in the community, certainly within our school, and be able to teach them about music theory and the musicianship, and use this beautiful instrument that is just so unique.
I love that. And I love the bells when they're recorded, but there's nothing like having them live. It just vibrates every bone in your body. It's so exciting. With you today, you've brought Shelby Swartz. Swartz, how do you pronounce that, Shelby?
Swartz.
Swartz, okay. Shelby Swartz, who's a senior. You've been in the Trinity Bell Ensemble for 4 years?
Yes.
And Maddie Fremming?
Fremming,
nice to meet you. You've been 4 years also. You're a senior in the Trinity Bell Ensemble. And we're going to hear from the 2 of you in just a little bit. I'm super excited about having the bells here in the studio. So I want to talk to you a little bit more about that. But Jennifer, as handbell director and also the chimes choirs that you direct, you're also a music therapist for a very interesting program. Can you tell me a little bit about Imago Day Music Therapy?
Sure. Well, at Trinity, we have a school called Imago Day, and they are the special needs part of our school that Trinity has embraced, so that we can help our learners that need a different way of learning to be able to process information. And so we have a specific curriculum developed to help these precious children. Part of the curriculum is that we offer music therapy for their students. Music takes a different pathway through the brain, and so when we have the opportunity twice a week, we have music therapy. And what I'm doing is using music as the tool to help, whether it's physically, emotionally, but music is my tool. And so there's goals and objectives through all of our activities that are helping these students be able to work on their social skills, their cognitive skills, and their expressive language. But again, we're using music as the tool. So they're specifically designed activities to help them with that.
I love that. What is the overall mission, would you say, of the Fine Arts Department at Trinity? I mean, I love that you have this very specific program for your special needs with the Imago Day Music Therapy. What would be the overall mission of Fine Arts Department for you?
Well, thankfully, Trinity Classical Academy understands the value of the fine arts. And so we want to make sure that all of our students, TK, transitional kindergarten, all the way up through our seniors, have an opportunity to have the arts as part of their lives.
Which is nice, because so many schools have cut the budget for fine arts, and it's truly limited.
Sadly.
So how, and you have a lot of unique fine arts. So tell me a bit about in addition to what you've talked about, what are your other what kind of arts have you brought in, and what's different in the classical Christian school with your fine arts?
Sure. So what we do is we provide music classes and art classes for all of our grammar school students. So TK through 6th grade, everybody has art class and music class. But what we do in the classical tradition is that we're not just teaching them about music notes or about Van Gogh. What we're doing is we are corresponding with whatever their learning in their classrooms, we are taking that and learning the same subjects in music and art. For instance, our fourth graders at Trinity study the Renaissance era. So when they are studying the Renaissance time period in fourth grade, when they come to music class, we will now be studying the fourth grade, the Renaissance composers and what kind of music they performed and wrote then. In art class, they go and study the Renaissance painters. And so it's just a whole...
Oh, it's a Rosetta Stone, so that when they go to think back, that's something that's going to trigger possibly what they've already learned.
Exactly.
Now, you guys have a December 17th Christmas concert coming up, a very traditional Christmas celebration, and I love that this is something, this ensemble, this is like working in an orchestra, but they're all playing the same thing. You know, it's interesting when it's an orchestra, you know, the strings have their certain regimen, and the horns have something else. Everyone's very egalitarian. Everyone's playing the same thing. How do you feel this type of ensemble type of performance teaches music and working together? And tell me a little about your thoughts on that.
Sure. Well, we're really excited about our upcoming performance on the 17th. The first half of the program will be all of our performing arts ensembles at Trinity. That includes the orchestra. It includes our choirs that are part of our logic school, our 7th and 8th grade, as well as our rhetoric school, and that is 9th through 12th grade choirs. We have a small strings ensemble. Our chimes will be playing, and our handbells. That's the first half of the program. And the second half is when 300 students will get onto stage and be giving a presentation. It's called Back to the Manger, and they will be acting, 6th grade actors telling the story of Christ's birth, and then the 300 students, all 1st grade through 6th grade, singing praises to God as part of this. So.
If someone wants to come to see this, how can they?
Oh, we would love to have them. All the information is on our website at www.trinityclassicalacademy.com. The time of the show, which is at 6:30. The address of the school. We'd love to be able to share Christ's birth in this way.
All right. Well, Shelby and Maddie, I understand you are going to play a little something. I'd like to ask Shelby, how'd you come to the bells, and is there other music in your life?
Well, bells started when I was in junior high with Maddie, and Mrs. Brown was coming and looking for people to come play it in the new handbell choir. And at first, I was actually wanting to do the theater elective, but then Maddie convinced me to actually join bells as well.
There's always a best friend that comes dragging you in. Now, Maddie, was there music in your life before? How did you come to the bells? You heard the announcement and said, oh yeah, I want to be a part of that.
Well, actually, I had taken piano lessons before, but not for a couple years. And I originally thought I was signing up for a singing group, and then I showed up.
There's always that. Wait a minute. There are bells here.
Yeah, Mrs. Brown changed it because only 4 people signed up, and one of the girls left, so I got Shelby to join.
Very nice.
Only 4 of us.
I love that she sort of roped you into that. And so now you have a group there. All right, we're going to take a moment and listen to Shelby Swartz and Maddie Fremming, they're here from Trinity Classical Academy. They will be part of the Christmas concert taking place December 17th. And again, tell me, Jennifer, where they can find that information. The website is?
Sure, www.trinityclassicalacademy.com.
All right, Shelby and Maddie, take it away. I know, I'm very intimidating. I'm totally staring you down, and you're doing this live on the air for a very large audience.
And honestly,
and it's
they
stressful.
just figured that out about 10 minutes before we arrived. This was a technique called 4-in-hand, where they put 2 bells in one hand, and being able to just naturally hear and figure out what the tune to Jingle Bells so that we could play something. Our ensemble has 9 kids in students that are part of this group, and so it's hard,
No, they did an awesome job. Don't apologize. You guys did great. It was wonderful to watch you thinking as you were going through that. Again, Trinity Classical Academy holding their Christmas concert December 17th. Stay here. We're going to do a little bit of